considering how the startups have truly influenced phase 3, we will take a few minutes of actually presenting 2 of our major successes. So, first of all, though, I would like to give a very short presentation about our startup program. Now, I'm presenting it, but I have to give, of course, much of the credit, if not all of the credit, to Max Monti, who started the program, and Roland Pesti, who has continued this, and very successfully in this phase 3. So how were those startups created? Well, the startups were created partly, I'm not saying they wouldn't have been created otherwise, but certainly partly, or in a big part, because we had this Spin Fund initiative. As already mentioned this morning, it was actually started in 2008, and it really took off in this last 3 years. So the Spin Fund, what was the idea behind it? Well, the idea behind it was basically an incubator idea. We're giving a PhD, 2 PhDs, salaries up to 12 months. We gave them 20,000 Swiss francs for materials, so a total of 120,000 Swiss francs. And the idea is, go for it, take your idea you developed during a PhD, and create a startup. Over the last 3 years, this is the result we've got. There were many discussions, that's not even on here, where Roland intervened and talked to the future entrepreneurs, or potentially future entrepreneurs, about startup ideas. Ultimately, we got 25 applications. Of those, 9 were rejected, and 16 of those business ideas were funded. Well, as with any business ideas, there are actually some who did not succeed, 2 of them. 1 company failed, but then we also had the success. 4 of those then actually went on and got different funding and went up to the maximum of 130,000 for venture kick. Now, currently, 10 of those companies are incorporated in developing their business ideas. 3 of them are on the way. As of next week, actually, the statistic will be 2 and 11. And over 30 million now has been already raised from venture capital. We just heard before a very interesting and sobering discussion of how easy or difficult it will be for the rest of them to get venture capital, but we're, of course, optimistic. Maybe one thing that is also worthwhile to mention is that 15 of those companies take a technology idea and push it. Only 1 of them actually had a market idea. With the, and what we mean with this is actually there's an application, there was a need by the customers out there, and this company came to EPFL to get the technology. Very shortly, the reason behind this, the reason behind the Spin Fund was truly not to develop the technology and the research. We assumed the patents, technology, research are already done or on its way, but to truly give the people the time of develop the go-to-market strategy, to identify what the market is, where they're going to go, and to finalize the intellectual property if that was appropriate. One of the nice things and very efficient things about these Spin Funds was that the decision time was very short. So there was this opportunity exploration with Roland that took 1 to 4 months. There was an application later on plus a short video. It was evaluated by a technology transfer committee. The technology transfer committee made a recommendation to the mixed management committee, who then either approved or rejected it. Once in a while, there was a question, it went back, but the whole decision process took basically maximum 4 months. And the other idea behind the Spin Fund was that we specifically put ourselves in the middle, if we can say so, of all the underfunding opportunities that we already have in the Swiss landscape. So we worked together with the tech transfer officers in the different universities. We, of course, worked together with the incubators, the coaching. We sent them to training if necessary. We were a little bit outside of the normal public funding initiatives, like through the CTI, SNF, the cantons, and we, when necessary, encouraged them to go to the financiers like Venture Kick Fit, CTI Invest, and the VC funding. We learned a few lessons during this whole process, and one real lesson was that the support and the implication of the hosting professor is actually crucial. We cannot just send the students out and they'll do something. Well, once in a while, you know, if this happens, this is actually nice, but this kind of, if you will, incubating it within a hosting lab at a university and slowly taking it out, slowly making it independent was actually important. The teams who actually went out and looked for complementary skills in marketing, business development, i.e. hiring a CEO, actually did well. The project leader of these spin fund projects had to move quickly, but not move too quickly. So it's always kind of like with this balance of, you know, how fast should we move? You have to move fast. We are living in a fast world where certain ideas could be picked up by somebody else, but you still need to reflect a little bit on what exactly you want to achieve. It was very important that these fledgling startups had the right coaches. So if we could not provide this within the mix, we could provide this with the CTI coaches and outside coaches and lead them in the right directions. And then, well, is every fantastic PhD student also an entrepreneur? That, of course, could be evaluated a little bit during this time by their ability to actually listen to expert, listen to different kinds of, you know, expert in this case, I'm just not meaning just the scientific expert, but experts of the market, experts in the field, etc. So we're still in the beginning, if you will. Not all of them have so far gotten to be the, you know, or let me be honest, none of them yet have this 100 million market that we just heard about, but I think some of them are on their way. So without further ado, here are the 10 companies that have been incorporated so far. And I actually have the pleasure to introduce 2 of them, as we have done throughout this workshop, to give them the acknowledgement there is 2. And this one, actually, I can tell you that it's been extremely difficult to choose which one we will highlight. They certainly deserve the award we will give them, but I have to say that the 8 other ones and the 3 still to come also deserve an award, because there's a lot of hard work and a lot of initiative, a lot of extra hours and creativity in all of these companies.